His decision to meditate in Kanyakumari at the Dhyan Mandapam on Vivekananda's rock memorial has caused the opposition to agitate. The Congress has complained to the Election Commission, and let me read an excerpt of what the Congress party has written in its complaint to the Election Commission. It says, quote, Election Commission should not grant permission for Prime Minister's program. Such a move is an attempt at indirect campaigning after the end of canvassing for votes. Modi is trying to covertly campaign through the media during 48 hours silent period. As you know, viewers, Mr. Modi is going to finish his campaign in Kashi and go straight to Kanyakumari, where he is going to enter the Dhyan Mandapam. They are saying that this will constitute campaigning. Mamata Bans also said pretty much the same thing. She says visuals will come, you'll be televising the meditation retreat. And this will amount to a violation of the Model Code of Conduct. Who goes to meditate with TV cameras, question mark, in the name of meditation? It is a plot to garner votes during the silence period, unquote. Now viewers, is the opposition guilty of overreacting? What does the spiritual act of meditating have to do with Hindutva, political signalling, with politics simply? Tomorrow, if the Prime Minister were to post his picture performing yogana asanas, which is little more than paying a spiritual oblation to the gods of fitness, would the Prime Minister stand accused of influencing voters? And what are we talking about, viewers? Does the Prime Minister even need to prove his Hindutva credentials? I don't think anyone is in doubt. The core voter, the core BJP voter is going to vote blindly because he believes that the party best represents his or her interests. I'm talking about that core Hindutva vote bank, viewers. The Prime Minister doesn't constantly need to signal. They're very confident of the Prime Minister's commitment to their interests. So let's open this up. Let's ask some questions. We're going to be joined by Mr. S. Gurumurthy, editor of the Tughlaq, in just a few moments. Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist, and Kamru Chaudhary are also there with us. Shekhar Iyer, where is this agitation over meditation coming from? What is happening here exactly?
You know, Congress has got into that kind of a groove where they feel that everything that the Prime Minister does should be criticized.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a needless thing. Look, people who are practicing Vipassana should not have problems with the Prime Minister doing his bit of meditation or Ekantavas as per the tradition he has followed. I mean, he chose to go to Kedarnath in 2019. This time he has chosen to go to Vivekananda Rock Memorial, which was incidentally set up by Eknath Ranade. It was inaugurated way back in 1970, and that rock has a significance because 24th December 1892, that was the time when Vivekananda rose from his deep contemplation and decided to commit himself to the welfare of India, for the growth of India, for the development of India. Because Vivekananda felt as a monk he had to do more. So that is how what was called the Kanyakumari Resolution of 1892. And similarly, Prime Minister has drawn inspiration from Swami Vivekananda several times. He was also part of the Ramakrishna Mission initiation. He had traveled through Himalayas. You know, he has a spiritual tradition. Now, I don't think, for that matter, Prime Minister or anybody's spiritual tradition should not be a subject matter of so much scrutiny and a kind of, you know, even that comment about Paramatma. I mean, we all have faced in our lives, we may believe in a higher being or a higher force. Haven't we gone through lives in moments where we have realized that despite our best of abilities or non-ability or, you know, some things have happened beyond our understanding, the concept of serendipity. You know, these are the things we have seen, you know, in our own lives where we say, "Bhai sab Ishwar ki kripa hai." This grace. And people, you know, it's a Khuda's kripa, Khuda's ye hai. So we have a tradition in India where we always, you know, commit ourselves to larger tasks, seeking the divine presence and divine.
Okay, so you're saying that we have to draw a distinction between the spiritual act and politics. Okay, let's open this up further. Let me bring in Mr. S. Gurumurthy. We're going to go straight across to him for a one-on-one conversation. Mr. Gurumurthy, who is the editor, of course, of the iconic Tughlaq and also an ideologue in his own right. Mr. Gurumurthy, thank you for speaking to me as always. I want to ask you this. If you were to respond today as, let's say, hypothetically, the Constitutional Authority, the Election Commission, and you were to formulate a response on the complaint that they've received, what would you say? What would your arguments be? If at all you chose to defend the Prime Minister, what would it be?
See, it is a question of how you interpret the Constitution itself. The Constitution has been interpreted after 1995 Hindutva judgment in a completely different way, and that too under the Election Management Act itself, Representation of Peoples Act itself. The question whether Hindutva, Hinduism, Hindu means purely religious or not was a question that was gone into by the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court decided that the word Hindu or Hinduism or Hindutva does only from religion. It is the national ethos, it is the culture and way of life of the country. That is why the appeal on the ground that the BJP and the Shiva Sena stand for Hindutva was not considered to be a communal appeal. This is the most important break point in the history of the Constitution of India. And it is not that this judgment came only in 1995.
No, yes.
This judgment was sourced in a judgment of the Constitution bench
Yes.
in 1976, peculiarly in a wealth tax case, where in a Hindu undivided family, there was a Christian son and a Christian mother. And the Christian son was the Karta because the father had passed away. And the question arose whether the property of that family was a Hindu undivided family property. The Supreme Court went into an enormous number of authorities, including the Encyclopedia Britannica, to say Hinduism encompasses all faiths, all gods, even people who do not believe are Hindus. And so, we have a completely an unknown tradition, a tradition unknown to the West, unknown to the domain of religion, unknown to the secular domain of the West, beyond the secular sacred conflict of the West. Here is a tradition which the Supreme Court recognized in 1976, on the basis of which the Hindutva judgment was given in 1976, by which this national ethos, culture and value, way of life was considered to be something very distinct and different. And on that basis, the word Hindu itself was not per se regarded as communal, Hinduism or Hindutva. Now, this judgment was sought to be reviewed thrice.
Yes.
In 2016, a 7-judge bench of the Supreme Court went into the other aspects of the Representation of Peoples Act, but refused to go into reviewing this, because this is not reviewable unless we review the entire understanding about Hinduism. You cannot review this judgment. So, when Jawaharlal Nehru said that the Hindu nationalism of Swami Vivekananda was not against anybody, this he wrote in the Discovery of India, in the Glimpses of World History in 1935. Would any congressman dispute it today? Would any secular dispute it today? He is probably the icon of Indian secularism, and he says Hindu nationalism of Swami Vivekananda is not against anybody. And that Jawaharlal Nehru never deviated from that position. So today's discussion is based on utter illiteracy in law, as well as about the foundations of Indian freedom movement, which was founded on Vande Mataram, which was founded on Ramarajya, which was founded on the Hindu nationalism of Swami Vivekananda. And even Mahatma Gandhi said the nation in India is defined by the places of worship strewn all over the world, all over India. There people move from one end, millions, and it is their faith which has brought Indians together in the manner in which no two Englishmen are. But today's discussion is so illiterate. It is not even rooted in the pre-independence values of India. And so the whole approach today is to be dismissed as having nothing to do with the Indian discourse.
Well, it is illiterate, Mr. Gurumurthy, because it is expedient. It has obviously been birthed from this very, very cultivated image of certain politicians in the TMC or in the Congress that only look at protecting a particular vote bank. I don't want to spell it all out, but I think you know what I'm talking about and our viewers understand. But I just want to ask you this question. Many people believe that the Ram Mandir, for instance, was a symbol of political Hindutva. Similarly, you could say that the Prime Minister wearing saffron robes and that image being sort of projected is also a symbol of political Hindutva. How would you address those people who are raising those questions today?
You see, I think many people do not know. When Mrs. Indira Gandhi, another icon of Indian secularism, went to the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. And of course, the Vivekananda Rock Memorial itself was declared open by none other than the constitutional head of India, the President of India. And when Indira Gandhi went there, she said, this represents the national feelings. And the Vivekananda Kendra, the system of life workers, going and spreading the message of Swami Vivekananda as well as doing service to the people, which is the second stage which is sprouted out of the Vivekananda Rock Memorial, she said is an important nation building exercise. So it has nothing to do with religion in the narrow sense. It is not communal. The very word Hindutva, Hinduism is not communal according to the judgment. And I am going a step forward. The political head of India and the constitutional head of India identified themselves as Vivekananda Kendra. And can Modi not go and sit there? And why is he sitting there? That is the rock on which Vivekananda sat after he completed his Parivrajaka tour. He didn't know where to break to make this country great. And he meditated for 3 days and then he said, I hit upon a plan. And afterwards he decided to go to Chicago. So that place has a message. It has a profoundness. It has a sacred value. And to reduce it to a mere political conflict, it is against the interest of the nation. It is utterly wrong. It is destroying the idea of India, which Swami Vivekananda defined. And it was accepted by great people like Mahatma Gandhi, who said, if I read Vivekananda, I become 100 times more patriotic than I am. And as I told you about what Jawaharlal Nehru said, Rajaji said if Swami Vivekananda had not been there, there would not have been a freedom movement. And in that person's name, the constitutional head of India and the political head of India participate in opening the memorial, which has sprouted a huge organization doing service all over the country without regard to caste, creed, religion. And you reduce it to a mere political conflict, a religious conflict. This is the perverted secularism which has gained roots. In this, vested interests have been instituted and created and sustained. That is what is being undone today. And that undoing process has been going on for the last several years, and more particularly in the last 10 years. I think those who oppose this have no sense of what India is, or even what Jawaharlal Nehru and Indira Gandhi represented.
Well, Mr. Gurumurthy, finally, I just want to ask you, the Prime Minister goes there right at the end of the campaigning. And I don't have much time, I just have a minute and a half. I just want to get a sense of what is the larger message that he is delivering from this particular endeavor.
You see, the campaign is over. So he is not campaigning in the name of even Swami Vivekananda or Raghuram Memorial. And he is now envisioning what Swami Vivekananda envisioned in a dark time about where the Indian civilization.
Okay, I think we've lost Mr. Gurumurthy
Where
there.
the Indian civilization.
Yeah, I think there's there is a
Hello?
technical problem there.
Are you hearing me? No?
I think I've lost you, sir. I've lost you. I can't hear you. I'll leave it at this, viewers. It's been a fascinating conversation as always. We'll be back, of course, with The Right Stand with Anand Narasimhan. Don't go away.
Known also as Strawberry Village of Kashmir.
Almost every family in this scenic rural town is involved in strawberry farming. Since their shelf life is short, men and women gather at the break of dawn in their fields to pick strawberries. The strawberries are grown organically, free from any chemicals, and are sent to the markets immediately so that they can retain their freshness.
स्ट्रॉबेरी यहाँ पे गासू विलेज इसको कहते हैं, स्ट्रॉबेरी विलेज ही कहते हैं इसको। फार्मर्स बहुत पहले से करते आए, पहले कुछ कनाल से स्टार्ट किया, फिर उनको प्रॉफिट लगा तो उन्होंने एक्सपेंड किया इसको, लेकिन मेहनत भी बहुत लगती है इसमें। मई जून में तैयार होती है, मई में ऑलमोस्ट हम इसको उठाते हैं, स्ट्रॉबेरी काटने लग जाते हैं इसमें, लेकिन मेहनत इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा लगती है। मार्केट में जो फर्टिलाइज़र आता है वो हम यूज़ नहीं करते, इसमें नेचुरली काउ डंग जो होता है उसको स्टोर करते हैं और डिकम्पोज होती है वही यूज़ करते हैं, बिल्कुल नेचुरली होती है। लेकिन जो माहिर होते हैं यहाँ पर स्कॉस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी है, उनका रोल उतना नहीं रहता है इस स्ट्रॉबेरी में। अगर वो रोल इसमें रखेंगे, इसमें नमी रहनी चाहिए ज़मीन में। देखिए आजकल मौसम बहुत ही रैपिडली चेंज होता है, उस वजह इसमें इफेक्ट पड़ता है माल इसमें प्रोडक्ट में बहुत ज़्यादा। इस साल बहुत ही कम प्रोडक्ट निकला क्योंकि मौसम रैपिडली चेंज हो गया। स्टार्टिंग में इसको बारिश ज़्यादा हो गई तो जो निकल गए थे स्ट्रॉबेरी वो ख़राब हो गए थे, फिर अब ज़्यादा धूप आ गई तो रैपिडली जो मौसम चेंज होता है उस वजह से इसमें इफेक्ट पड़ जाता है।
Strawberry farming was introduced in Kashmir not too long ago.
An unprecedented and historic election.
A vote that decides Bharat's quest for greatness.
A mandate that paves the way for 1 billion aspirations.
A verdict the world is watching closely.
A battle for a rising Bharat's glorious future.
Battle for Bharat. Elections equals CNN News 18.
Given its favorable weather conditions, it has generated employment for locals in the valley. Tons of strawberries are being produced by the farmers in the valley, but this time, the weather has affected the production. Farmers have also long demanded the cold storage facility for the produce, as it has a very short shelf life.
यहाँ एक फार्मर को जो बेसिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है ना उसकी कमी है। फॉर एग्जांपल अभी एक फार्मर है यहाँ पे, फॉर एग्जांपल मैं यहाँ पे भी स्ट्रॉबेरी कल्टीवेट कर रहा हूँ। अभी मुझे खाली इतना पता है कि स्ट्रॉबेरी का एक छोटा सा पेड़ लाना है, ज़मीन में देना है और उसके बाद एट द एंड आपको ये मई जून में आपको ये ना हार्वेस्ट करना है, बस इतना सा मुझे पता है। एक प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट इन बेचारों को नहीं पता है, एक प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट एक फार्मर को बिल्कुल भी नहीं पता। जैसे अगर आप इसके पत्ते भी देख सकते हैं कितनी बीमारियां इसमें लगी हुई है। इन बीमारियों को रोकने के लिए अगर हम नीचे भी देखेंगे बहुत सारा फ्रूट ज़ाया भी हुआ है, तो ये ज़ाया होने से भी हम बचा सकते हैं। एक फार्मर को कितनी मेहनत एक ऑर्चर्ड में करनी पड़ती है ये हम फार्मर ही जानते हैं। जैसे कोल्ड स्टोरेज शोपियान डिस्ट्रिक्ट में है, कोल्ड स्टोरेज लासीपुरा साइड से है, अगर वो कोल्ड स्टोरेज का सिस्टम यहाँ पे हो तो ये स्ट्रॉबेरी कुछ टाइम के लिए, एक लिमिटेड पीरियड के लिए हम उनको स्टैंड कर सकते हैं।
In the last few years, more and more farmers have converted their land.
Historic third-term dream achievable? Join me, Shapun Das Gupta, for the most dynamic and distinct coverage, unrivaled political punditry, and the sharpest election analysis. Elections equal CNN News 18.
आतंकवाद
Farms.
This is the first harvest of the season in Kashmir Valley when the strawberries get ready. This will be followed by cherry and other fruits as well, which are freshly harvested. This fruit does not need any chemicals. This is cultivated using the cow dung, and then it's ready, red and sent to markets in Kashmir Valley, where they're not only giving business opportunities to these farmers to have an alternate crop in their field where they already are cultivating apples, but also an additional source of income which over the years has only flourished. With Bashir Lone in Srinagar, Ishanwani for CNN News 18.
The India bloc, halt the Modi juggernaut. Join me, Nistula Hebbar, for the most dynamic and distinct coverage, unrivaled political punditry, and the sharpest election analysis. Elections equals CNN News 18.
Welcome back. Next, we're going to take you to strawberry fields forever, the strawberry villages of Kashmir. Families there are busy harvesting strawberries. It's the first produce of the season in the Kashmir region after a long winter.
And due to the erratic weather conditions, the climate change, the overall generation of crop has been affected as well. But the red crop continues to flood the market now. Ishan Wani is in middle of those strawberry farms and he brings us this report.
Surrounded by breathtaking snow-capped peaks is this Gasu village on the Srinagar's outskirts, which is famous for red strawberries. This place started strawberry cultivation around 20 years back, and today results are right in front of you. This particular village gets busy during May.
Alliances will personal equations spoil chances. Join me, Smita Prakash, for the most dynamic and distinct coverage, unrivaled political punditry, and the sharpest election analysis. Elections is equal to CNN News 18.
Strawberry is ready to get harvested. This is known also as Strawberry Village of Kashmir.
Almost every family in this scenic rural town is involved in strawberry farming. Since their shelf life is short, men and women gather at the break of dawn in their fields to pick strawberries. The strawberries are grown organically, free from any chemicals, and are sent to the markets immediately so that they can retain their freshness.
स्ट्रॉबेरी यहाँ पे गासू विलेज इसको कहते हैं, स्ट्रॉबेरी विलेज ही कहते हैं इसको। फार्मर्स बहुत पहले से करते आए, पहले कुछ कनाल से स्टार्ट किया, फिर उनको प्रॉफिट लगा तो उन्होंने एक्सपेंड किया इसको, लेकिन मेहनत भी बहुत लगती है इसमें। मई जून में तैयार होती है, मई में ऑलमोस्ट हम इसको उठाते हैं, स्ट्रॉबेरी काटने लग जाते हैं इसमें, लेकिन मेहनत इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा लगती है। मार्केट में जो फर्टिलाइज़र आता है वो हम यूज़ नहीं करते, इसमें नेचुरली काउ डंग जो होता है उसको स्टोर करते हैं, डिकम्पोज होती है वही यूज़ करते हैं, बिल्कुल नेचुरली होती है। लेकिन जो माहिर होते हैं यहाँ पर स्कॉस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी है, उनका रोल उतना नहीं रहता रहता है इस स्ट्रॉबेरी में, अगर वो रोल इसमें रखेंगे, इसमें नमी रहनी चाहिए ज़मीन में। देखिए आजकल मौसम बहुत ही इरेगुलरली चेंज होता है, उस वजह इसमें इफेक्ट पड़ता है माल इसमें प्रोडक्ट में बहुत ज़्यादा। इस साल बहुत ही कम प्रोडक्ट निकला क्योंकि मौसम इरेगुलरली चेंज हो गया। स्टार्टिंग में इसको बारिश ज़्यादा होगी तो जो